All right. So let me share with you a very common scenario, right? So when people think of negotiation, especially when they're novice, uh, how they tend to negotiate is by using some sort of domination. Okay. So let's think of a 6-year-old kid. Okay, 6-year-old kid, he wants to buy a bicycle, or he wants to go to a amusement park, right? How does he negotiate with his parents? He will say that if you take me there, then I am going to top in my class. Or he might say that if you take me to this amusement park, then if you don't take me, then I'll stop eating. Or he might say that if you don't take me there, I'll not study, I'll not concentrate in my studies, right? And his parents may say that, okay, if you study for these many hours and produce this result, then we will take you. Now the kid will be interested that no, I don't want to delay it so much. I want a quick gratification. So the kid will start saying, no, 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 this is not acceptable, that is not acceptable, and he might go on a hunger strike, right? So this is common. Children will say the child will say, sorry, I don't want to. I'll not eat until you take me to the amusement park, or you give me a promise as to when you will take me there, right? Now what's happening here is that people are trying to dominate each other. Okay, the parents may say that, okay, don't eat, let's see how long you can not eat, right? So what the parents are doing is that they have a superior information. They know that the child cannot go without food for very long, so at some point he has to give up. So they might resort to that. So that is also, they're basically using domination. And on the other hand, domination need not, or they can just simply use violence and tell the child that, okay, you have to start eating, otherwise I'm going to hit you. Now, these are different forms of domination that the parents might resort to. Similarly, the child may resort, where the child says that I'm not going to eat. That is also a sort of domination. They know that if he doesn't eat, then the parents will get really disturbed. And at some point, if he keeps up the hangama for a while, he keeps up the trouble for a while, then eventually they'll be forced to take it. So people are very much used to using domination to get the results they want. Like default answer to they people not getting what they want is that they resort to domination. Now, resorting to domination is something that has been shown as an inferior negotiation strategy. Okay, so there have been so basically the modern contract negotiation approach has been developed in the Harvard University. There's a Harvard negotiation project, and it's not just the Harvard negotiation project. It is something that followed by uh, law firms across the world. They promoted this kind of negotiation over over the kind of negotiation where there is a lot of force used, a lot of domination used. There's show of emotions and fighting and crying and anger, storming out of the room. That sort of negotiation does not work, and it has been absolutely rejected by the modern legal community, modern investor community, anyone, like, in the business community as such, has rejected that model of communication and negotiation. And it is something that it's not that it never happens. There are some individuals who resort to it, and sometimes they get away with, and more often they become the people that people don't want to negotiate with. Or when you're going to negotiate with such people, you take exceptionally hard positions. You take exceptionally entrenched positions, that this is what you want, because you expect them to do a lot of drama. So you have to keep in mind that negotiation is rarely a one-time affair. You are building your reputation by how you are negotiating, and whether you're fair, whether you are just in a negotiation, and you are building up a reputation. And it is not only about negotiating today itself, but the style you adopt today in terms of negotiation, it would show its results over a series of negotiations in the future. Okay, this is especially true for lawyers. For businessmen also, it makes a lot of difference. So that's number one. Number two is that it has been shown that collaborative approach to negotiation usually tends to produce much better results. So what do I mean by collaborative approach to negotiation? So the idea is to find, wherever possible, there are mutually beneficial positions, right? So there are things that work for me and work for you, and we are saying, okay, let's get to those situations. So if you are saying that I am selling a used car, and you are demanding warranty, but I'm not in a position to give a warranty because even I don't know. Even I don't know what the car is all about and how much life is left in the car. And but I'm charging less you charging you very less anyway. But there is certain, I know, at least I know certain, to a certain extent it will work, and rest I don't know. So I have a room to play around and at least I assure you of some outcome, and that might make you comfortable to buy that car. Maybe you are buying the car so that it runs at least 10,000 kilometers, and beyond that, you have no expectations from the car. And then, if I am able to guarantee you, or it may be possible that I am able to take an insurance on my side where these kind of warranties get covered. So you see that a lot of electronics manufacturers, they give a warranty of a year or two. How are they providing it? They are able to provide it because they have taken an insurance that whenever a certain product does not work, the cost of replacing that is paid by the insurance company, right? So you're taking an insurance. Now what they have done is that they have found a mutually beneficial position. Who's paying for the insurance? I am paying for the insurance. If I'm buying the electronics, essentially the warranty is paid for. So the seller has no problem in providing me a warranty as long as he gets to charge me for the warranty, and there's an insurance company which is providing, taking care of that insurance. So this is how modern business is done, and collaborative approach, where there's a mutually beneficial outcome. So the seller taking an insurance and giving me a warranty and charging me a little bit more for that warranty is a mutually beneficial outcome, because I myself could not have gone and gotten that insurance at that same cost. So this is something which is very important to keep in mind during negotiations, right? So we are trying to find mutually beneficial positions. Now there are times when there will not be a mutually beneficial position. There won't be a position which is acceptable to both the parties, and this is not unheard of. This happens very frequently. Then you have to see that, okay, uh, can the contract still work? Sometimes the contract is not workable. It is not acceptable to both the parties. Or sometimes a party will give up something and say that, okay, I can do without this, but I want the rest. The contract is important enough for me that I'm going to give up on this one right. Okay, and that is also common. Now, this is something depends on, this is something called bargaining position. Like different people have different bargaining positions depending on where they are sitting or what the market situation is. For example, let's take the example of a renting of a house, right? So if you're renting a house, it is possible that it can be a buyer's market. Buyer's market is that there are a lot of houses available in the market, not enough people to rent those houses, right? Now the situation is such that the landlord is in a tough situation. So either he rents it out or he doesn't. So when he has to rent it out, if it is buyer's market and he has to rent it out to make some money, then obviously the buyer gets higher bargaining position, and he may say that if you're not providing me XYZ, I don't care.